We travailed a vast ocean. For what? For what?
We must ask thee to be silent.
Was it not for the pure and faithful dispensation of the Gospels and the kingdom of God?
No more. We are your judges, and not you ours.
I cannot be judged by false Christians, for I have done nothing save preach Christ's true gospel.
Must you continue to dishonor the laws of the Commonwealth and the Church with your prideful conceit?
If my conscience sees it fit.
Then shall you be banished from this plantation's liberties.
I would be glad on it.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good.
The greater good.
This is episode 225. And tonight
we're in our October fun.
That's right, more October fun. And tonight we're talking about The Witch.
Yes,
Come on, Cat. Seriously.
I was about to say, it suits us well that your cat is doing something to you in your video right now. I don't know what it is.
Well, I have got my chair as scooched up to the front of my desk as I possibly can, literally trying to prevent her to even seeing that there is lap available. And now yet
she's going to try to jump up on your back and hold on to the top
and just
of your
like
back.
free climb my back. Yeah. Well, she's hopefully I've discouraged her. If she comes back, I'm seriously going to go get the water bottle.
What is it? Is it black cats that witches are supposed to turn into?
I don't know. She's like brown and gray. I don't know. So maybe
they're all evil. They're half in.
Yeah, they are. We did learn that from Constantine. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Great. This is episode 225. I think I said that. And tonight we're talking about The Witch. The Witch. The Vivitch. Yeah. The word witch that's spelled with two V's because in the times that this takes place, the letter W hadn't been invented yet.
Yeah. But if you look it up on IMDb, it will be spelled Vivid, just regular witch.
Yeah, just witch. Yeah, you're right. With the W. I am Sean Allred, and joining me tonight is Andrew Black Phillip Jemison.
Must be the season of the wind.
And we just got kicked off YouTube. No. and Sam signed the book, Vector. Okay.
You know what that is, Sean?
Oh, what's that?
That's Black Phillip, and he's waiting for you over here, buddy.
Yeah, is he about to stab me in the gut with his horns?
Yeah.
Do you feel like that was kind of a Mark Twain era name?
What's that? Black Phillip?
Oh, yeah.
Phillip.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, because it's a black goat, and, kids are little, they're going to call it that. I mean, I kind of get that, but...
Yeah. But I could see that.
Racist.
Well, I mean...
They might have not known that black people existed at that point.
Why wouldn't... Well, yeah, of course they would have. They were English. I mean, it wasn't like these were noble Puritan... I mean, these were English people. I mean, again, England had slaves during this time. They were dealing with the slave trade. I mean, it would be another 100 years before England would abolish slavery. Anyway. So yeah, the 2015 The Witch. So if you are listening to this, having watched this movie, and I really would like to know if you have watched this movie, and if you are,
it's a Netflix special.
it is, yeah. It's not Netflix only, but it's a Netflix movie. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
If you loved it, great. I'm glad you did. You might not like this episode. Or B, if you hated it and wondering why we did it, Sam and I both read the same article that said that this was the greatest horror film in the last 5 years, and it's hidden away on Netflix.
Yep, and I've seen several other articles that said the same thing.
Yeah,
In fact, today I read another one. I'm like, okay.
A lot of people love this movie. Like,
I don't
genuinely like it,
that, I'm sure.
and think it's genuinely scary. And I've gone on record saying many times that sometimes my mood can affect my movie viewing experience more so for this podcast and how I watch movies than any other medium. You know, like I could be kind of pissed off on the way into the theater to watch Infinity War. I'm still going to love that movie, you know, because of lots of different reasons. But I watched this movie. I was by myself. I was away from my family. I mean, I was on a business trip, and so I was by myself. The TV I was watching on, it's just one of those hotel TVs with bad speakers. So I had it cranked up so loud, I still couldn't understand anything that people said.
That's why you guys couldn't understand it, because I had headphones in.
I couldn't understand anything they said, and I had to have I literally put closed captioning on because I couldn't understand what they were saying. So I had to read the movie.
I did, but I normally do that just for all of our movies, just to, make sure that I'm hearing what they're actually saying.
And I do have to say something real quick. Andrew, you are abnormally close to your camera tonight. It is kind of
creepy. It's very Halloween of you.
Yeah, like literally the entire screen is your face right now. And
and it's very dark in whatever room you're in.
Yeah,
so
it's actually
very fitting.
It's actually kind of great and terrifying at the same time. So I appreciate that. Oh, especially since you turned your camera on. That's great.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I just screenshot that.
Okay,
Good. There you go. That's going on to Facebook. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that
what were we talking about?
I didn't like this
subtitles,
movie at all.
Yeah.
I didn't like this movie at all. And
You want to know what it's about?
no, yeah, go ahead, Andrew.
New England, 1630. William and Catherine tried to leave a devout Christian life, homesteading on the edge of an impassable wilderness with 5 children. That is what we call hell. I just added that, sorry. Yeah. When their newborn son mysteriously vanishes and their crops fail, the family begins to turn on one another. The Witch is a chilling portrait of a family unraveling within their own sins, leaving them prey for an inconceivable evil.
Inconceivable. Okay, see, that sounds way scarier than what I watched.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so so something else to confess a little bit. I have several things. Well, not to confess. I have one thing to confess, and then other.
Well, confess it thee, so thou shalt make sure the Lord favors your podcast.
No, I wouldn't say your, thou's podcast or something. Yeah. I didn't capture any other clips other than that intro because I couldn't understand anything anyone was saying, and I didn't. So there are no clips for this movie. I'm sorry, kind of, maybe.
But really, what I'm viewing the movie in my mind, I can't think of anything that strikes me.
I mean, there's always nothing funny in the movie, and it's not a movie that's supposed to be funny. But even like moments of,
or even clever dialogue.
but there's some times where like someone is like over angry acting, and I like to capture that. And yeah, they're yelling, but I couldn't understand what he was yelling. Like the dad yelled a lot, and I couldn't understand what he was saying. And the mothers cried a lot, and the twins were just like ear-piercingly annoying. I didn't like when they're screaming that Black Phillip song. I didn't want to capture that at all either. So I didn't capture any clips.
Well, here's my question to Mr. Sound Guy here, right?
Okay, sure.
And we actually, the clip that you played, right, is of the dad speaking in front of the governor. And throughout this entire movie, the dad speaks in this very, very deep,
Gravelly.
Oh yeah.
gravelly voice. It doesn't sound natural to me. Like even
yeah.
in that first scene, I was like, I thought it was the governor speaking or whatever. It didn't. Throughout the movie, I was like, this. It sounds like he's right up to a mic, just talking into. It just sound wise, it was very not unsettling because that would mean that the movie was, I don't know, meant it that way. But I don't know if I like the sound design of his voice. Does that make sense?
No,
It was really gravelly.
yeah. I mean, really gravelly and really. Okay, all right. So I didn't capture this. I'm literally pulling Netflix up with the subtitles so I can cue things up. Like just here you go. Yeah. Okay. So there was a lot of that, right? Them running around screaming about Black Phillip. There's a lot of that. And then I'm looking for another scene where the scene where the dad is talking.
Yeah, get something with the dad because it sounded really strange to me.
It is such a fright to find thee gone. I'll not be left here alone. Just there. Morning's work is well behindhand.
Jonas, leave that sister be.
She likes it. William.
What, can our father spend godly time with his son? Jonas!
I mean, yeah, like.
Those two young kids were out of control.
Oh, they were driving me crazy. They needed to
though.
be beaten with a stick.
This was, to me, if they could make home movies in the 1500s, this was it, or 1600s, whenever this was. This would be it. Like, it tells, to me anyway, it told the story of a real family that had real problems that, you know, we know children can sometimes drive you to your limit anyway.
True. Yeah.
And that was I thought an accurate portrayal of
Family.
of a family.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that. Yeah. I'll give it that. What I don't give it is, I don't know. Were you guys ever scared?
Okay, I'm going to be honest. This movie messed with me a little bit.
Oh, good.
Oh, really? Good. I'm glad. I want to know how and why.
Well, okay. It didn't mess with me in the fact that it scared me, because it was never scary. It messed with me in the fact that anytime I watch a movie that has to do with religion and being a person that was brought up in a Christian household, and I mean, there's like certain things that are just off limits when it comes to what you say and what you do and your actions. And witchcraft certainly, at least in my household, was like the furthest thing from anything right and just and holy. And so, I don't know, the whole idea of possession, and to me, this was my Children of the Corn for corny. Like,
Really?
it really did kind of mess with me a little bit, and I think it just had to do with more so the children and just, I don't know. And I know the girl was like in her 20s when she filmed this, but she looked like she was 12.
Yes.
Yeah, she's supposed to look just old enough of that time where she's kind of coming of age, 15 or 16. But yeah, she was 19, I think, when she filmed this, 19 or 20. I see why you say that, Andrew. I get it. And here's my issue with it. And again, once it goes back to my issue with Mother, expectations meets reality. For some reason, and maybe I just misread the I don't know why my chair's being super weird right now. Gosh, for some reason I must have misread the intro, the IMDb read or something. But I didn't think that there was actual witches. For some reason, I thought that this whole movie that there was actually nothing supernatural happening, because I thought it was, kind of basing its not quite the Salem witch trials, but
Yeah.
like before.
Well, that's I also thought that way too, Sean. When I first went into it, and it wasn't until the baby's disappearance that I was like, oh,
well,
okay,
even that just made me think that there's just a person that lives in the woods.
Yeah.
There's nothing supernatural about it. It was just there was another person there who lived in the woods that took the baby for its own reasons.
Yeah.
And then even like the possession with the kid, I didn't really take it as possession until he spit out the apple. I think that's what it was, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was like, at that point, I'm like, oh, there's actually some magic, some kind of witchcraftery thingy happening here. But for the most part, I just assumed it was the twins. Just kind of being awful. And then, okay, so how do I wrap my brain around this? We've done this before on we've had episodes, and we've talked about this usually during the episode, where we had either a request for the movie or one of us put the movie on the list, and we felt like we needed to do it, but we just didn't want to watch the movie. Let's be honest, there's been episodes where we're like, I don't want to watch this movie. But then we do it, and then the episode is good, and we have a good time with the episode. This movie is like the inverse of that. Like, I wanted to watch the movie, and I'm sitting there thinking, I've watched it 4 days ago now. And for 3 days, I'm like, what am I going to talk about on this podcast? Because I didn't take anything away from it. Not really, not much.
Yeah. It wasn't anything to me. There wasn't anything really new or exciting to talk about. It's a slow drag, which I appreciate in horror movies, because usually there's a build up and a build up and a build up, and then it starts hitting the fan.
Yeah, and there was only one real jump scare when Black Phillip stabs the father in the chest. There was a loud noise, and that actually kind of gave me a little bit of a jump, because it sounded like a gunshot almost. Mm-hmm. And I thought, there's only one gun in this movie, and that thing kind of sucks, because the dad was blinded by the darn thing. But that's just kind of what they had back then. I don't know, but
go ahead.
No, I just okay. So let me say this too. I feel like I owe this to the movie. I didn't think the movie was It was not poorly made. It was what we got was dreary and well done, and the sound design of the dad was a little weird, and maybe that's just the way he talks. I mean, that might just be him. It could be him. He usually plays bad guys in movies with that deep, gravelly voice. Like he was a Harry Potter bad guy, and he was in Guardians of the Galaxy as a Ravager. So he was in Ready Player One as Rick, whoever Rick is.
Oh yeah, Rick. I remember Rick. He's a good guy.
Who's Rick?
Good guy, Rick.
I don't remember Rick. Who's Rick?
Yeah, Rick, that guy with the hair.
Oh, Rick was the boyfriend of his mother or his aunt.
Yeah, right.
Who beat him up. That's who he was. Yeah. So a bad guy. Got it. Anyway, and apparently he's also in Star Wars. He's our Star Wars connection, I think. Because I think I saw that. But he's known for this movie. This movie, it says he's actually known for this movie.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say. The thing I appreciate about good horror films is there's no mercy for anybody. Like the good one,
Yeah.
everybody's gone.
Yeah.
Everybody's killed. And in this one, and I think, well, let me back up. I think in order for a horror movie to do that, you have to have characters that you don't care about. And because if you care about them, then you want them to survive. You want them to live.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only one character in this movie that I remotely cared about, and that's the girl who ended up living as a possessed witch. But
Who apparently walks around naked. All of them. Yeah.
Well, witches do that. They don't need clothes. But none of the characters in this movie
You're gonna need clothes in winter in
are big
Massachusetts.
names that you would care about ahead of time before even watching the movie. And I think they're so, like the wife, especially the mother, is so. I didn't like her at all.
Yeah, there's no redeeming quality in her at all.
There's no redeeming quality.
A shrill, evil person.
Like you said, the kids were annoying. The only one that I felt really sorry for was the baby, only because he's a helpless baby, and and that scene right, at the beginning, where she chops his manhood off.
Oh, dear Lord!
I don't know what it is, but like I can't watch stuff like that. It like makes my whole body just squirm. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I started this movie. Is it Tomlinson? Is that what they called her?
Thomason, yeah.
Thomason. I did feel a connection to that character only because I think they built her up to be this poor girl is having all this happen to her.
Mm-hmm.
And her parents are basically selling her, and they're blaming her for all this misfortune when she's not doing it. And then, of course, the son, Apple Boy.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I mean, he wasn't a bad kid, and he wasn't annoying. He was just growing up with crazy people around him, his parents, and his older sister is the only thing he sees in the world. So, which I guess ends up being his only downfall. But again, I think that's why they tried to make this such a slow burn is to build up the character stories so that you did care about these people. So, you get that whole movie style to it to just see the window in on this family. And maybe, I don't know, maybe that's why the little kids didn't, I just wanted them to be stuck in a shed somewhere or something.
Yeah, you mean locked in a building overnight? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what happened? Got it.
Yeah.
Well, as far as the quality of the movie itself, I thought it was done pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Cinematography I thought was done really well. Everything was muted. All the colors were very muted, and nothing was vibrant for a reason, of course. And I feel like it was smart in a way. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's not. I didn't see this as a horror film. I just saw this as a suspense thriller that had to do with witchcraft.
Yeah, really. There was really 2 moments of horror, 3 moments maybe. You've got the kid with the baby, and the blood being smeared, which was weird.
Well, and I found out why that's a thing, but yeah, keep going.
You've got the boy and the witch in the woods, where the weird, crazy old hand grabs him from.
Yeah, but that's just again. I guess that's more of a jump scare attempt than anything else because there's nothing else.
And then you've got the possession / apple upchuck.
Yeah, but even then, that's just a little weird and gross. But it doesn't like the only true horror segments are the baby and then Black Phillip stabbing the father in the gut. Well, no,
I wouldn't have that as horror. I just have that as a.
Yeah, but when Thomason has to kill her mother, that's pretty rough. Too.
Yeah, that's true. That is pretty horror.
Yeah, but having TV shows like The Walking Dead and I don't know, Breaking Bad, other pretty violent shows.
Yeah.
This didn't really affect me. That kind of stuff didn't really affect me.
Yeah, it's nice to see something new, and I just didn't see anything new.
I'm going to interject for just a second. I'm diving into the IMDb credits here. Chris Columbus was an executive producer on this movie. The guy directed the Harry Potter movies and the Home Alone movies. He's an executive producer on this.
Founded America?
Well, okay.
Or discovered America?
Discovered something. What America?
Yeah.
And he discovered it for the second time, but we're not going to get into that. So here's the other part. Back to people that. So again, the movie we've already established, I think, that the mother is kind of awful, right? The twins are annoying. The baby.
She basically plays the same character that she plays in Game of Thrones,
which is funny because the dad is also from Game of Thrones.
Yep.
And so we got shrew, kind of crazy mother who blames Thomason for everything. And so she has a dream where she's talking to, I guess, the devil in her dream and signs the book in the dream. And all of a sudden her sons, both of them are returned to her. And in her dream, she's nursing. And then when the camera pulls back, we see that she's actually sitting in a chair and a crow is nipping at her boob.
Yep. Delicious.
And so the mother turns, whatever. We're kind of assuming that the kids, the twins, have turned because they talked to Black Phillip.
Yeah.
But then I guess the head witch, she kills them also, I think. And then
that was never really.
Yeah, she's there. There's a scream. Then the next morning, I think that those were the kids' bodies that were kind of screwing about.
I thought those were goats.
I thought they were too.
Yeah.
I guess I have Netflix.
I'll go try to find it real quick.
I'm pretty sure those were goats.
I thought they were
goats too.
So I can't remember. So
I think the twins may kind of be our hopping men of this movie.
Yeah, because
that's right. Because I was thinking, where did they go?
All right, so I pulled up Netflix and I'm looking. So there's a dead goat and there's another. Those are dead goats and there's a huge hole in the shed. I don't see the twins anywhere, but the father accuses Thomason. He says that their blood is on your shirt or something like that.
Yeah.
Because that's the crow scene. That's freaking me out a little bit. That was a little weird. But when they're out in the shed and Thomason says something, I don't know. She's asking them if they actually do talk to.
Oh my gosh, there is. I searched for where did the twins go in The Witch, and there's 10 different links to start with.
Nice. So no one knows.
No one knows.
We just have to. We're just kind of making an assumption that they. So then, anyway, whatever. I also thought it was kind of, I was going to say, I found it crazy that the mother started calling her a whore, but then I realized, she's possessed, so she's going to say mean things anyway. But then Thomason, the only kind of redeemable character in the book, or the movie, she then signs the book and becomes a witch.
Yep.
And so, and that way she can fly or something. And also...
Her whole family's dead, so...
Her whole family's dead, and what else has she got to lose? She can't go back to the normal society. They would burn her as a witch because she's the only survivor.
Yep, she has nowhere else to go.
Yeah, so, I guess might as well.
Could we say she's defying gravity?
Defying gravity. So, here's another weird thing, though, that I got the benefit of because I had closed captioning on. So, when the boy is having his little possession thing and he's screaming out Bible scripture?
Yeah.
There's a moment in which he says something and then he kind of starts laughing and then he kind of makes a moan and then he lays down. It literally says in the description, moans with pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
So
dear.
It's supposed to be that he's having an orgasm.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the camera kind of pans in close to his junk a little bit. And I was actually expecting there to have some kind of visual representation of what happened on screen.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get that just from the audible, but I did get it obviously from the visuals, like from the read. I was like, oh, okay. How do you explain that to like a 12-year-old, what that means? So I guess, you know what I'm saying? They probably had to try to say it in different ways. But anyway, I don't know. The movie didn't work for me. That's all. It didn't work for me. Again, and it wasn't until she starts talking to Black Phillip before I was like, wait, really? This is real? Black Phillip is actually the devil? Is he the devil, or is he just a warlock?
Or is he a goat?
Or is he just a goat man? Is she hallucinating because she ate the corn that had the hallucinogens on him, which, I don't know. It's just whatever. But I did learn that in the trivia was actually pretty helpful with the movie. Like the trivia was with Mother. Is that the reason why the old lady witch took the baby, and then you saw her taking the blood and she was rubbing it on something? Apparently, according to various satanic texts and witches' covens and things, the blood and fat of babies, innocent babies, is how broomsticks gain flight. And so she was rubbing that on her. She was basically fueling her broomstick.
Yeah, try watching Harry Potter after hearing that.
No kidding.
Yeah, really.
Man, yeah. When they use their little spells, it's like, man. When he gets his thunderbolt, man, how many... So, I also wrote... My first quote was, or note was, I hate movies that have loud screeching violins. I then wrote, Old English is hard to understand. I then wrote, ew.
Wait. You wrote that with an E at the end of old, didn't you?
I actually didn't. I started to, but I was typing this on an iPad. I wasn't typing it on my laptop. So anyway, I did write, ew, he's collecting water downstream from where she's cleaning poop off her dad's pants.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I immediately thought about that. I was like, oh, dude, just go on the other side. Even just to be mean to her, what? Even just to be mean to her sister, pretending to be the witch that took Sam is really mean. Thomas and I thought way crossed the line when she told the twins that she was a witch.
I did too. I was like, even if you're like just trying to mess with your brother and sister there, that's like too soon.
Yeah.
I
thought that was a little strange for her to do that, because like the whole movie, like you relate to her and she's kind of the sweet, innocent victim in everything. I mean, she's the victim of everything. Everything's her fault. The boy leaves to go try to get to collect the trap that actually did have the rabbit or whatever on it, and then, you know, the horse gets spooked and she falls off or whatever. Like that's all her fault, and she's like, you feel bad for her, you really do. I did write that the closed captioning was great in this movie. Still don't understand how they thought bleeding someone helped a fever. That people back then were just dumb.
Weird. Dude, I just I just read something talking about the ending of the movie and how bittersweet it might be. And this is straight off of Den of Geek. It says, now at the end of The Witch, there's a glaring omission about what happened to the younger siblings, the twins who the old hag stole the night she slaughtered the family's innocent goats. The twins are never seen again, but by the time Thomason reaches the coven, there is a huge bonfire burning with the clear effect of causing all the witches to fly. Thus, Thomason's supposed liberation and sensual rapture comes from the smoking flesh of her dead baby siblings.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So maybe that's where they went.
Maybe. Holy wow. Oh, this movie just got just a little bit darker.
All of them are flying for some reason.
Yeah, you're right, and she was
crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking at I'm on the Goofs page on IMDb. Let's see. Anachronisms, the nails holding the chicken house together have modern round heads. Okay. When Thomason is lifted in the air at the end of the movie, one can see that she has shaved under her arms. That didn't start until the 20th century. In several shots, ear-piercing holes can be seen in Thomason when the woman of that era rarely wore jewelry. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Factual errors. The desperately poor family is shown eating by the light of multiple candles. Candles were extremely expensive in colonial New England and would have been used very sparingly. One mistake in the dialogue is incorrect usage of the pronoun thou and you. During the 17th century, you was reserved for formal situations, and when one was addressing someone of higher status, thou. So as rank. Thou, on the other hand, was used for personal, informal settings.
Really?
Yeah, so throughout the film, the characters use thou and you interchangeably. However, a close-knit family such as theirs would have not...
Whoa.
In the world?
What was that?
Sorry, I have the windows open.
Okay.
That was,
I was going to say, a semi just like air brake as it drove right by your house?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so anyway, I was hoping for something more fun than that, but that's fine. That's crazy about what you just found there, Sam. That's kind of...
Do what?
What you just read about the thing.
I know, right?
It's crazy. Like, I mean, there's a whole bunch of, like, there's as many trivia in the spoiler section as there is in the regular trivia. Like, during the witch hunt, it is widely believed that a witch could not say the Lord's Prayer. That's why the family is so upset when Mercy and Jonas are unable to finish the prayer.
Yeah. They also don't. They don't float, or they float.
Yeah, or something.
Witches float, right?
I don't remember what it was. Like, if that's what it was, if a witch could, if you threw a woman in the water and she float, then she was a witch. They'd pluck her out and burn her. But if she drowned, they're like, oh, I guess she wasn't a witch. Oops.
Yeah, that's...
God, back then. And it all just stems...
So
and it mostly just stems from the fact that men were so insecure that a woman could know things. And and if you had a mole or something, it was considered the devil's teat or something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that stuff that's crazy. I've read several books during that time period. Those people were stupid. How did we get out of that time period is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, how we ever eventually evolved out of that is actually kind of miraculous. Because we were dumb. Why did the twins call the witch Flora? Oh, yeah, they called her Flora. Remember that? The witch,
Flora?
the hag is in the barn, and I guess she's killing one of the goats. Because she's making some kind of noise, and all they see is her back. And one of them says, Flora? Like with a question mark. And then she turns and laughs, and then there's a scream, and that's the end of it.
I thought that was the name of a goat.
Oh, that would make sense. It didn't make sense in the moment. But again, there's a lot of that in this movie. That just
Yeah.
There's Black Phillip and Flora, and then Steve.
And Steve. Steve the goat.
Steve the goat.
Good old Steve the goat. Yeah, I will say this. When the wife was like, or someone basically just tells the dad that he's, the only thing he can do, the only thing he's good at is chopping wood. That was kind of messed up.
He was good at chopping wood.
Yeah, but apparently he can't grow corn or hunt. But he can chop some wood.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
And he can't dodge goats.
No, he can't dodge a goat.
Goats are no joke, dude. You know, we had a family had a goat in Morganton. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, it was Jacob. And Jacob the goat was basically the devil. And if you thought Black Phillip was the devil, Jacob was the devil. Jacob would literally trap us in our house.
Oh my gosh.
He would headbutt his gate until the gate was destroyed, get out, and then every now and then we'd be sitting watching TV and we'd look up and he's right outside the window. And if he saw you, if he locked eyes with you, he would start headbutting the window.
Oh my gosh.
So it was like, it was crazy. And literally, what was it? I think we accidentally locked my mother outside once when Jacob was outside, and she was having to go around the house trying to avoid this goat trying to get in.
Oh my gosh!
But it's a horrible goat. Horrible. I would never have a goat again.
That's crazy.
So, but he eventually died in a thunderstorm. So he's gone.
Okay, that's kind of sad, I guess.
We're not sure if he got struck by lightning or had a heart attack, but he keeled over.
Oh well, all right.
Yep. So yeah, the Vectors had a Jacob the goat at one point.
Here's that scene that I'm trying to figure out. So there's a thud noise and heavy breathing. The kids, they started doing this heavy breathing thing. Footsteps in the grass. I got closed captioning on. All right, so this is.
Would that please you? I have brought a book for your mother.
All right, so she's having the dream. I think it's a dream. Maybe that's real. I don't know.
Someone's hungry.
Where she's talking to the baby, I guess, and her dream baby. And so one of the twins are up and they looking around.
Flora?
So
Flora?
yeah. Dripping, says the. Oh yeah, this is the
There's
whole
your
movie.
violins.
Yeah, this is the whole movie, by the way. This noise. Music intensifies. And then it said choking in the closed captioning. That was it. It says choking.
Choking.
And then the very next shot is the mother holding nothing, and the crow is nipping at her boob, and she's laughing. How they got that bird to do that, I don't know. And then it's blackout, fade to black, and then the next morning is the dad. So I guess that the witch killed the kids in that moment and took them, I guess, to go use as kindling for their witch fire.
Yeah.
But why they call her Flora, I guess maybe Andrew's right. Maybe that's what the name of the goat was Flora. And Steve and Black Phillip.
I'd have to watch again, but I'm not going to.
Well, I just watched that scene. Yeah, don't watch it. It's fine.
No, like the whole movie. Like, there's got to be a time when they called the goat Flora.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Oh, I know. Actually, you know what? I was thinking about that. Sometimes they actually put in the credits on IMDb the names of the animals. If the animal had a name, they'll actually give them a credit sometimes.
That's why I don't name my dinners.
That's why you don't name your dinner. Coven Witch, Militia Man, Pipe Smoker. No, none of the animals got credit. Well, that's a shame. They deserve that IMDb credit.
Yeah.
Black Phillip had lines, apparently. Well, that's not true. The voice of Black Phillip was Daniel Chaudhry. Chaudhry. He's a Canadian actor. Known for... Oh, he was in The Expanse. As Tatted Belter. That's pretty much all he's known for. Is this movie and that. So, keep working, sir. You'll get there. Sorry. There's just not a lot of actors in this movie. And the director, Robert Eggers, who also wrote this, has a pretty gnarly beard. He's only directed something called Hansel and Gretel, a video short. I'm sure that's probably dark as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's, that story. He did The Telltale Heart, which was a short. He did this movie. He did something called Brothers, also the same year. And then he's now working on something called The Lighthouse, a story of an aging lighthouse keeper named Old who lives in the early 20th century Maine. Stars Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe is Old, I guess.
Willem.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to wait to see what that movie's about.
Sure.
Because those are pretty decent actors. So, all right, good for you. Getting old Willem, the hunter guy who chased after the Tasmanian devil.
Yep.
Anyway.
Killed the last one.
Or did he? Killed by a goat. That's a new one for CSR I wrote. And then my last note was, what? With a question mark. So there you go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
This whole movie. That basically could describe this whole movie right there.
But just the comparison, just the juxtaposition of what that movie was compared to this. Because in case you've forgotten what that movie was, that came from Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
And I want to go watch that movie right now. I really do.
Oh.
Anyway, it's fine. Because I need more. I can't find it. Oh, well, whatever. I was looking for the. All right, I can't. I need more of that in my life. So.
Pretty soon, we'll be out of October, and then we'll have some more.
Oh gosh, and next week. Oh. Anyway, I need to start watching that movie now. It's going to take a long time. Trivia: there were more scenes planned to involve Black Phillip, but because he wasn't as well trained as planned, the ideas had to be scratched. And this is one that kind of shocked me a little bit. Stephen King, who is often called the master of horror, has stated that he was terrified by this film. So something
Maybe it hit him in the right way.
Yeah, something connected with him that didn't with us, or at least you and I, Sam.
I know.
The Satanic Temple has endorsed this movie and hosted several screenings of the film. Their spokesperson, Jex Blackmore. Come on, dude, really? That's your real name? No, that's bullshit. I actually have a clip for that. No. I need to keep this higher up.
That is one big pile of shit.
There you go. Addressed the film as, quote, an impressive presentation of satanic insight that will inform contemporary discussion of religious experience, end quote.
Okay.
All right, there you go. So the satanic people liked the movie. I didn't know, because I don't know. I didn't know that the satanic cult did witches. I guess witches like what angels are to Christians? I don't know. I just don't know. I'm not making light of their religion. I don't know. So, I just thought witches were a thing that was just supernatural, like other supernatural things, like Harry Potter. Like, they're not satanic, though some people think that Harry Potter is satanic. And I have friends whose parents wouldn't let them watch Harry Potter because of the satanic incident.
Yeah, my old church in Morganton. God love them.
I also had friends.
Harry Potter is satanic.
Power Rangers because it was satanic. So people are going to believe what they believe.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I
More
have,
power to them. They just missed a pretty darn good story. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, and there was a girl that I worked with at Carowinds. Her mother wouldn't let her watch any Disney cartoons because of all of the things that are in Disney cartoons. So during in between shows, she basically, because she was old enough, she was 18 and out of the house, and so we were like, oh, we're going to be bringing in some Disney. So, I mean, for the first time as a 20-something-year-old, she was watching The Little Mermaid and Lilo and Stitch and the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I mean, she just didn't get to watch them as a kid because her mother said they were evil. So, like you said, people can do what they want, and that's fine. I tend to live my life, do what you want to do as long as you don't hurt somebody else. And she wasn't technically hurting anyone, just she's stunting the youth of her child, I guess. But anyway, I know more stories about that mother, but I'm not going to tell them on air. I'll tell you guys off air. I'll shame her off air. Anyway, here we go.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Well, I guess I don't want to move on to top three yet. Andrew, anything else you want to add? I mean, Sam, do you want to add anything more about the movie?
No, I feel bad. I didn't think it was scary. I don't think it was bad. I just don't think it was scary.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. It wasn't scary. I think there's a difference between a movie that scares you and a movie that bothers you.
Yeah, good point.
If you know what I mean. This movie didn't scare me, but it made me uncomfortable.
The best horror does both.
Yeah.
Look at The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that movie didn't scare me, but it did make me uneasy, and I had to turn a lot of lights on.
Yeah.
After I watched that movie. No, I get that.
Or even like Event Horizon. There is some pretty crazy crap.
Well, yeah, Event Horizon, though, that's just straight, like, shock and awe horror kind of stuff. And nothing in that movie ever really bothered me. Not really. But, like Snowpiercer bothered me way more than Event Horizon.
You're still stuck on Snowpiercer.
Yeah,
poor Sean.
I know. No, my cat's back. What do you want?
Oh.
What?
Wow.
I'm trying to get her to talk. Because she'll talk to me. Oh, you're going to hit your head on the microphone? Oh, you didn't. Okay. Anyway. Hey. What? You going to talk? No.
I was just going to show her butthole to the...
to the camera, yeah. Can you hear? Psst. Hey. You're not going to talk, are you? No? No, okay. I don't know. Can you hear that through the microphone?
I hear purring.
No, that's the laundry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's actually not happy right now because I'm poking her. I'm trying to get her to leave. There, oh, she hit the microphone right now. Anyway. Well, I don't know why she's being like that. Weird. All right. Anyway, top 3. We decided to do movies with witches because that was loud.
Why not?
Sorry about that. Because why not? Yeah, exactly. So movies with witches. Andrew.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to say number 3. Well, honorable mention, I guess I should say.
Okay.
Goes to, and I don't like this movie, but I like the actor and the portrayal of the witch, and that is Meryl Streep in Into the Woods.
Into the Woods.
Oh,
okay.
I don't like that musical, but she played an excellent witch in that movie.
Sure.
Number 3, going back to 1990 with the movie called The Witches, starring, what's her name? Angelica Houston as a witch. And that one is probably the first, I guess you could say, horror movie that I watched growing up. And I remember being very young and being traumatized that I was going to get turned into a mouse by old ladies.
Oh, yeah.
Number 2, Hocus Pocus.
Uh-huh.
And then number 1 is going to have to be...
Rowan Atkinson is in that movie?
What's that?
Rowan Atkinson is in that movie? Your The Witches movie?
Oh, yeah.
That's funny. Okay, sorry.
What was your number 1, Andrew? I didn't get
I jumped.
I didn't get there. Number 1 is going to be a tie for all of the Harry Potter films.
Oh, sure.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Well, we could rank those movies. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, we could have done even that today.
Yeah, but we're not going to. But I'm with you. Just the Harry Potter franchise is good. If there's ever a Harry Potter movie streaming, which I don't think
there ever will be.
Yeah, Warner Brothers isn't going to give those up for whatever reason. But if they ever do stream, it'd be kind of fun to do those movies.
Yeah,
I mean, it'd take us 2 months to do them all, but
I don't care. I'll do it.
Especially if we just did them in order, 1 through 8. Sam.
All right, I've got a honorable mention here to, believe it or not, the Blair Witch Project.
Oh, I do believe it. I'm actually surprised it's not your number 1.
Yeah, it's pretty darn good for what it is.
Never seen it.
You've never seen it?
Nope.
Well, if you don't want motion sickness, I
don't.
You're probably good candidate to not go see it. But we, I think it was more of the event because a bunch of us, Find Me Alpha Brothers, went and saw it one night, and then we drove out in the middle of the night to the Blue Ridge Parkway,
Parkway, yeah.
and just kind of wandered around on some of these parks with that had old houses and old cabins and stuff, and we're scaring each other silly. So
Sweet.
It was fun. It was fun.
And that was the last time we saw Steve.
My number 3, because my wife is here and she'd kill me if I didn't.
Oh,
I've got to say Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz, yeah.
Yeah. My number 2 is actually, there's a tie for number 2 with all the Harry Potter movies. And my number 1 has to be Stardust.
There you go. That's cool.
I love it. Love it.
Okay, cool. Now
And then tied for number 1 is Jurassic Park.
Because those people were witches that can use that science to make dinosaurs. That's not real.
Yeah,
they had to be witches.
What do you got, Sean?
And my honorable mention is The Craft. With
oh yeah,
The Craft. That movie.
Neve Campbell.
Yeah,
Sandra
Neve
Bullock
Campbell and
and,
no, not
Nicole
that.
Kidman.
No, that's Practical Magic.
Yeah.
Oh, what is The Craft? Who's in that?
Oh my gosh! Every girl I had a crush on in the '90s.
Oh, is that the girl that was in Scream? What was her name?
Yeah, Neve Campbell.
Yeah, Neve Campbell is in it.
Yeah.
Robin
Okay.
Tooney, Frazura Balk. We know her from The Waterboy. She's the love interest in The Waterboy. Rachel True, and a bunch of other people.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Neve Campbell and Robin Tooney. I had thing for her. So anyway, yeah, that movie kind of weirded me out, but also it was really cool. My number 3 is my number 3. I actually put. I'm actually changing my order. So number 3, I'm going to do the Harry Potter. Because Sam already said Stardust, I'm going to move that to number 2, and then I'm going to do my number 1 as The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I like that movie a lot.
Still a pretty good flick.
Yeah.
They got worse as they went along, but the first one was really good.
I liked the second one actually a little bit more than the first one, but the third one is just whatever. But there's a rumor, and I think more than a rumor, I think it's actually confirmed that Netflix is going to do a series of all of them.
Oh,
Basically turn all 7 books into a 15-part.
Have you read all 7 books, by the way?
I have.
I don't see how they can make good movies out of some of them, or good shows out of some. Because some, I mean, you saw it when on the third one, it doesn't make a good transition.
Yeah, some of the books I don't think would be great.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
But like the first, like you said, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is obviously just amazing material to use. The second one, Prince Caspian?
Yeah, that was. Well, technically, that was the second movie. It's the third book. They didn't.
Yeah.
They never did. Obviously, the first one. I'm trying to see. I'm just trying to. I did a search for it on IMDb, and there's nothing that's new. So maybe they're not. I could have swore that I saw that though.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So.
Chronicles of
But-
Narnia TV. Netflix to develop the Chronicles of Narnia TV series and films. And films? Netflix is close to a multi-year deal with the C.S. Lewis Company to develop new series and film projects based on the books. This article was written a week ago.
Awesome.
So this is pretty new news.
Huh.
So anyway, I don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to do it or what they're going to, and I'm not reading this whole article online here. So, I mean, do you take just The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and make that into like 3-episode series? I mean, the first episode, the very first one, the Apprentice or whatever it's called, like that one was a pretty good little story. But it wasn't as good as a book. That's why, like, it's required reading to read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but not the first one because it wasn't as good as a book. And then technically Prince Caspian is the fourth book. The third book is the horse and his boy, because that story takes place during the time while the four siblings were in Narnia. So during part of their 40-year reign or 30-year reign as kings and queens of Narnia, it's a story during that time period. And then Prince Caspian is after they'd already come back. So anyway, cool. I don't know how we got there. I don't remember. Oh yeah, we were talking about Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And Tilda Swinton is a great witch. She's kind of great in everything she does.
Hey, she's also in your favorite Snowpiercer.
She is in Snowpiercer, and she's of course she's in Marvel, and
she's in a lot of places.
She is kind of everywhere.
By the way, did you see they canceled Iron Fist and
Luke Cage?
Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what I'm thinking is, and I can't find any corroboration on this yet, but Disney has announced their own streaming service that they're launching in 2019.
Oh no.
And I think that by canceling those two, they have plans to move eventually the entire Defender series to that streaming service, so that they can create so they have places to create content on their streaming service.
Yeah.
Because right now, as of today, the only content they're creating for the service is the Mandalorian series that Jon Favreau is helming. It's in the Star Wars universe. And I've heard, again, rumor, I think it's fairly confirmed, though, that the Scarlet Witch, I think, is going to get her own series.
Yeah, I saw the Scarlet Witch and Loki.
And Loki are going to get their own series.
I don't know. I don't want them to cheapen the cheapen the product.
Yeah, I can see why you say that. I don't think it will. I spelled Scarlet wrong, so I can't find anything. Untitled Scarlet Witch TV series. There's Elizabeth Olsen rumored. Yeah, right. So anyway, they're gonna have to have their own streaming content to because it's gonna be just more than it's gonna be your one-stop shop for all of your Marvel and now Disney. But it'll be here's our new stuff we're creating because the DC just launched their new streaming service.
Mm-hmm.
The DC universe, and they started with their new show Titans, which is a very dark version of the Teen Titans cartoon and comic. And there's mixed reviews coming out about that, so whatever. I don't know. They're all doing their thing, and CBS has got their all access, and they got new Trek coming out in January. So
competition helps pricing. But then it also spreads it out too.
Yeah, and that's gonna be the problem. Is like, at what point do you like how many? Like I'm saying, like, are you gonna pay cable and Amazon and Netflix and Hulu? Like at some point, you're just gonna, and we'll probably get that Disney streaming service thing, just because it'll have every Disney movie ever. And when you have little kids, that's sometimes nice to just go, hey, let's just watch The Great Mouse Detective, and I know where it is. So, anyway.
Yeah, my kids were asking about The Headless Horseman and Ichabod Crane today. And I said, yeah, it would be nice to be able to show you that Disney film.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch Sleepy Hollow. That's a neat show.
Well, no, not the. What was the one? There's an old.
It's a Tim Burton, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Oh, the comic, Well,
there's the Sleepy Hollow. There's a cartoon, the old Disney cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was the Tim Burton directed with your Johnny Depp Sleepy Hollow with what's his name? Weird Christopher Walken is the Headless Horseman. And then they came out with a TV show on Fox called Sleepy Hollow, which was pretty cool. I liked it. Sarah and I used to watch that a lot. Anyway, now that we haven't talked about The Witch for a while, I guess we're kind of done with that. Unless there's anything else anybody wants to say. And next week we are confirmed we're doing The Thing, right? We're doing the movie I haven't seen. I can't remember what it's called. The Shining, right?
The Shining. Oof. Better start watching it now. It's a long one.
It's a long movie. Never seen it, though.
It's worth it, though.
Wait, what's supposed to happen?
Andrew, out of 10, what do you want to do?
So yeah, I'm gonna give The Witch because it did bother me, but did not scare me. I'm gonna drop it down to about a 6, maybe 6.1.
Okay. Sam.
All right. It kept my attention, but not for very long. Kind of a forgettable thing for me. So I'm going to give this, I don't think it's worse than a 5, but I don't think it's much better. So let's do a 5.01 out of 10.
Just a smidge better than average.
A little bit of, yeah.
All right. I didn't like it. I was bored. I was confused. I couldn't understand anything. So I'm going to go the opposite of Sam and give it a 4.99.
Should I go back and change mine to just a 5?
No, because if you do, then or if you do just a 6, then, well, we still don't get a whole number, but.
Nah, it's okay.
Yeah.
5.36 repeating is fine. All right, so next week is The Shining. Stay tuned. It'll be a lot of fun, I think.
I think it's shinning.
The Shining.
The shinning. They just go around hitting everybody's shins with golf clubs.
Kicking everybody in the shin.
There's actually a really great Treehouse of Horror about that on The Simpsons, where they call it The Shining. It's like, shh, it's the shitting. You don't want to get sued, do you? Pretty funny. But like that, literally that Treehouse of Horror is the only like anything I know about The Shining. Only thing else I know about The Shining, other than the actors that are in it, is that it was filmed at a hotel that's in Colorado that you can still go visit. I don't know much else about it. Jack is in it. He goes crazy. There's elevator of blood, I think. Like I don't know much.
Quite a bit.
So, but again, that's like I know that from the Ready Player One movie because they go into The Shining. So I don't know much. Oh, Sam, you're editing the list. What are you doing? I have been harassed at length for not doing Juno, so we have to do that soon. We're just gonna have to suck it up. Oh, you just. Anyway. So that's week. That's our show. Damn it, Sam! Stop deleting stuff. Oops, not June. What am I trying to do here? Oh, go fund.
If you're still listening, God bless you.
Yeah, Facebook.com/Cheapseat Reviews. Follow us on Twitter at CheapseatCast. I'm tired. Go home. We'll see you next week. Good night.
Last call.